Hi everybody, and welcome back to our blog series in association with the Liverpool Echo. Now we're going to talk about the hamstrings today. If you're an Everton fan, it's kind of blighted your season. I think you've had about 18 soft tissue injuries so far. So what I'd like to talk about today is the role of the hamstrings in function and kind of some of the things that we kind of doing that are not really preparing our hamstrings for the demands we place on them during our sport, like running, football, rugby, whatever else we do, and our gym workouts as well. And the reason why they can quite often kind of pick up tears and injuries. So if we look at our hamstrings, what they do is when you're kind of hitting the floor during running, they kind of flex at the hip, extend, ready to prepare you to kind of drive off. All right. And that's kind of when we're going to get them injured. So when we're at this big end range and asking them to cope with a lot of force at length, all right, and they also kind of wrap around the side of our knee and kind of come around there, all right. So what they also do, they look at three-dimensional movement through our knee as well and help kind of stabilize that motion, all right. So that's why when we're doing our hamstring exercises, we shouldn't just focus on going straight forward and back. We should look at coming around the side, get them working through the frontal plane a little bit, because that's really what they do during function. All right, so they don't just work in one plane of motion. And the other thing we talked about in the article was that difference between static stretching, where we kind of hold in and looking at improving our flexibility through holding a position for a long time, and dynamic, where we kind of move in and out of a position with no real pause at the end of that stretch. Okay, now, as I mentioned in the article, research has found that static stretching pre-activity can actually lead to about a 15% reduction in performance levels. So the force and power output that you can get from your hamstring muscles can actually be diminished by about 15%. Okay, whereas if you flip that over and look at dynamic stretching, the research has found that dynamic stretching may actually improve performance, can actually enhance the power output and force production of our muscles if we spend some time doing dynamic stretching before we go and play sport, or before we go and start lifting weights or running as part of our kind of workout program. So that's a massive swing, yes? That could be like a 30% difference in how well you perform. You know, and if you're performing well in your workouts, your weight loss, your muscle building, everything's going to be better. All right, and the same with sport. It can improve your speed, your power output, your reaction times, everything. All right, so the key is getting a real good three-dimensional dynamic mobility program into your workout to help prepare those hamstrings for the demands that you're about to place on them. So let's give you some practical tools. Enough of me banging on, and good luck. So okay guys, we're going to go into the exercise part of the video now, and we've got a box there, and we've also got a couple of light dumbbells as well. Alright, so they're only 4 kilos. We're not going to use them quite yet, but we are going to integrate them in a little bit later on. Alright, so we're just going to go through our first exercise. All we need to do, you're going to place one foot in the box, keep your knee fairly straight, and your foot flat if you can. Okay, quite wide stance, and we're going to reach about hip height. And all we're going to do, we're going to reach first with the left hand, and then with the right hand. Just reach in to the opposite side. And what you'll feel is a stretch on the inside when you go this way, on the outside your hamstring when you go this way. Okay, and then we're going to gradually make those reaches to knee height and to ankle height. Okay, and we're just going to let it flow. So the same thing on the other side. We're going to start left hand, right hand at hip height. Remember, you can keep a tiny bend in your knee, but try and keep your leg fairly straight, okay? So not too much flexion. And we're dropping it down to knee height now. And all the way down to ankle height, okay? And last couple, coming up nice and tall in between each stretch. Relax. Okay guys, going to go to exercise number 2. This time we're going to keep our legs straight on the box, okay, we're going to point our toes up so we can target the muscles and the attachments behind the knee. So what we're going to do now, just going to go down with both hands, out the hip height, and then we're going to have a reach up and over, okay? And we're just going forwards, backwards, okay? So again, starting off at hip height, get a little bit lower if you can at knee height. And we're going to try down to ankle height if you can get there, alright? If you can't, just go to the point where you feel tension, come back up. Don't hold the stretch at the bottom, you're literally in and out of the stretch immediately. And one more, that's good. Okay, we can swap over. Same thing again, toe pointing up, nice long stance, nice and wide stable base. Start at hip height, reaching up and over. Okay, so allow your upper back, your lower back to flex as you come forward, okay? So don't worry about keeping good posture, you're just kind of moving as your body allows you. Okay, let's going to drop it down to knee height now. Try and reach as far forward as you can. Remember, keeping that leg dead straight this time. Let's drop it to ankle height. Yeah, we'll do about 4 more. And last one. Okay, for this last exercise, we're going to just grab our box, put it to the side. Okay, so we're not going to use it for this one. We're going to grab our dumbbells again. And all we're going to do, we kind of go and turn that into a bit of a matrix. We're going to add a bit of frontal plane movement in as well. So we're going to sit into a nice long stride. Again, we're going to target our hamstrings, so we're going to keep our knee fairly straight. Okay, so all we're going to do, we're going to start off going to the same side. So right hand down to the right, left hand to the left. Starting at hip height, working our way down, okay? So we're going out to the right. So imagine we're hitting 2 and 10 on the clock. Okay, you're just going to let your hips flow, bring the dumbbells back into your body every time. Okay, let's take it out to knee height. And we're going to go to ankle height. Okay, we're going to swap legs. Frontal plane again. So we're using the dumbbells here, down to knee height, to up the intensity. Okay, and it also gives us a bit of an upper body workout as well. Right down to ankle height. Okay, we're going to go into transverse plane now, so we're going to look at the opposite side, like we did on the box. So this time we come in, hip height, nice big twists, okay? Down to knee height, I'm going to do 6 at each height. And ankle height again. And swapping over that last little bit, hip height. And knee height. And ankle height. Relax. Okay guys, that was our dynamic hamstring exercises. Alright, so again, they're probably just 3 or 4 of a couple of 100 different options that you can have, you know. You can start stepping into stuff, adding more momentum. Again, you don't have to use the dumbbells, you can use reaches, and you'll probably have to get a little bit bigger reach and through a little bit more range without the dumbbells. But what the dumbbells do, they start preparing the muscles to cope with a more intense contraction and the tension. Alright, so they might help them cope with a bit more force as you're going through certain movements. So give those exercises a go, and as ever, please let me know how you get on. Leave a comment along with the article, or drop me an email that's attached to the article. So I'll see you all again soon. Thanks for watching.